What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over the buffs, the new buffs on the new update, and a lot of people have been requesting this, so I'm going to do it. But before we start, let me just explain why I speak Tagalog on my gameplays and streams. So if some of you don't know, I'm in the Philippines right now, and I'm streaming there. I'm not in California, USA right now, and I want to pursue my Facebook partnership there. So if I want to be successful in getting my Facebook partnership, I need to speak Tagalog like majority of the time, since a lot of my audience on my Facebook page will be Filipinos. So it's just something that I really gotta do. But for the gameplays that I have been posting, there are subtitles on the bottom if you guys have not noticed. And I actually told my editor to do that because I know that I have foreigners that are watching from other countries that don't speak Tagalog. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. But for the tutorials and the analyzing gameplays, it will stay in English. For the gameplays that I show you guys, for those videos, it will most likely be Tagalog with subtitles on the bottom. So sorry about that if it's a inconvenience for the other people that don't speak Tagalog, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Hopefully you guys understand me for that. And I do stream on Facebook every day at 9 a.m. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. For about 4 hours, so you can watch me there. It's Philippine time. Alright, so thank you guys. Let's start with the buffs. Okay guys, so here we are in classic mode. I have to do it in classic mode since it doesn't show the blue what's it called, the wind buff and the healing buff at the river for the practice mode, so I gotta do it in classic mode. Alright, so let's go to the blue buff first and try to figure out what it does and which heroes it benefits the most. So let's kill it first. From what I know, it gives you cooldown and mana reduction for whoever gets it. So this is probably mostly used by mages and assassins. You don't want to try to give it to your marksmen. You want to try to give it to your your mages and assassins most of the time, since it gives you a 10% skill cooldown reduction, and it reduces the mana by 40% whenever you use it. It also gives you more sustain when you kill units around the map, so make sure you know that this gives you more sustain when you're roaming around the map. Let's kill Hellcurt first so he doesn't do anything. He doesn't push. Okay, so now let's go to the red buff. From what I know, the red buff is really good for physical damage heroes. So most likely marksmen and assassins that have physical damage, like Lancelot, because this gives you, every time you actually hit anybody with any form of damage, you slow them down by 80%. So this is more benefitable for marksmen and assassins that have physical damage, because the more physical damage you have, the more true damage it deals. It says when dealing damage to enemies, it slows them by 30% for 1 second and inflicts extra 50 and then whatever physical damage you have extra. So if I buy, let's say if I buy a dagger right now, it's gonna increase to like 165 or 166 most likely. 177 actually, so it increases a lot whenever your physical damage is up. Like let's say if I buy magic like a mystery codex for magic power, it's not gonna go up. I have 162 right now. If I buy a codex, it doesn't go up as much as a dagger, right? Physical damage hurts more than than magical codex. Okay, we can test it out again without any items just to make sure it actually works like that. So what we have right now is, it says 159 true damage. So if I buy a dagger, let's say a dagger, boom, it's gonna turn into 174. And if I sell this, okay, so if I sell this and I buy a codex, which is gonna be this one, it's gonna be 159. So like I said, physical damage heroes are more, they benefit more on the red buff. You want to try to give this to marksmen and assassins that have physical damage. It also doesn't, it procs on anything. It's skills or auto attack. So let's say I hit Hellcurt with my first skill right now, it will proc the red buff, and it also procs on minions. So you want to try to hit heroes first before you hit minions, because if you hit minions first, it's gonna slow the minions down, as you can see, and the true damage will be dealt on the minions. But if you do it on a hero first, it's gonna deal the slow to Hellcurt just like that. It slows him down by a little bit, 30%. I thought it said 80% before, but I guess it's 30% slow. So it has a cooldown of 3 seconds every time you use it. So make sure you use it wisely. I mean, you don't really have to keep track of it. You could just keep fighting, and it'll do it by itself. The buff will do its work while you're just playing. While you're playing. Now let's talk about the what's it called? This gold buff right here, the crab, on the top side and bot side. So they spawn a lot earlier now. They spawn at 45 seconds, and it spawns 3 times really fast after you kill the first one. I don't really know the gap between the spawn for the gold buff, but all I know is it spawns at 45 seconds. It used to be 1 minute, but now it's 45 seconds. After you kill it the first time, it spawns after like what, 20 seconds or so. It's really short, so it's around 20 seconds or 30 seconds around there. I'm not really sure, but what people do for the rotation now is they clear the lane. They clear the lane here at bot lane, and then they do the first crab right away, and then they go jungle. They either get the red buff or this green minion right here. So it's one of those, right? That's the rotation now. They go for the gold buff first instead of going for the gold buff after the green minion right here. So they go lane and then go crab and then the green minion. It used to be lane, green minion, and then crab, right? But not anymore. You cannot do that anymore since the crab spawns a lot earlier. And it gives you the same thing. The gold, it gives you 10 gold every 10 seconds or 20 seconds. I'm not really sure. I think it's 10 seconds. It's the same buff as when you kill the crab before. But it gives you less gold when the crab is smaller. Sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's bigger. The bigger the crab, the more gold you get. For the healing, I don't know what these are called. The healing turtles, I guess I'm calling the river turtles. I'll call them the river turtles. It heals you and your enemies around you. You see the thing that's following you from behind? It heals 2% of their HP, and 2% of their mana is given back every second. It also works on minions and heroes. So if you need more sustain, if you're roaming around and you're really low, your tank is really low, this could be really useful. And this objective is going to be more prioritized I believe, since it gives you a decent amount of gold. It gives you like 56 gold or something like that, 60 gold. I didn't really pay attention, but it's going to be more prioritized. It's going to be more, prioritized for gold, not really for healing. They're just going to use it to farm and level up the XP. It's not really going to be used for healing, to be honest with you. And it spawns every 2 minutes after you kill it. So right as soon as you kill it, you just count down to 2 minutes and it should spawn again. Now for the wind buff, this should be found in this side of the map, one corner of the map, 4 corners of the map actually. Right here, there's some on the enemy side as well, and right here. So this spawns every 45 seconds after you get it. So it gives you a directional arrow to where you want to speed up and dash. It gives you a little dash, and you can actually use it to go through walls as well. So it's really useful if you're trying to escape from the enemy team, or if you're trying to run away, or if you're trying to roam as fast as possible to another lane. Now for the minions right here, the green minions at the side, we can talk about that as well. They actually give less gold now, but I think it depends on how the game progresses. Like let's say the game takes like 20 minutes. It has a maximum value of gold to when the game progresses. The more the game progresses, the longer the game is, the more gold it gives you. So at the early stages of the game, it doesn't give you as much as when the game goes late, right? That's what I'm trying to say. This one gave me 78 gold, but usually at the start of the game, it should give you like, what, 50 something? Maybe 53? Something like. All I know is it's lower than what it's supposed to. Early game is lower than late game when you're killing the green minions. Nothing changed here. It gives you gold for the green minion right here. But for this one, it gives you gold as well. Nothing changed here. It gives you more gold for this one, for the goblin. Same thing. As the game progresses, the gold that's given to you by the goblin will be more than usual than early game. Now this one changed a little bit. This one actually gives you 2 minions now, so this objective should actually be taken a lot. That gives you 39, and then you gotta kill another one that gives you like 25. Yep, there it is. So you gotta keep track of that. I don't really know the spawning time for those, but it's the same thing as before. So the crab, make sure that sometimes the crab is, smaller. I can't see the other side right now, so I can't really show you the small crabs and the difference between the small crab and the big crab. I don't know if it's random. Sometimes it spawns it spawns small one, and then sometimes it spawns big crabs. I haven't really been paying attention. But from what I know is that it spawns variety of sizes of crabs. The bigger the crab, the more gold it gives. But the buff is always there, the same thing. It gives you 10 gold every 10 seconds, which lasts 30 seconds. So that's the same thing for the small crab. It doesn't matter if it's a small crab or a big crab. It's gonna be the same gold buff that's given to you. Alright, for the Lord, nothing really changed for the Lord. For the turtle buff, I believe changed a little bit. That it's, I can't show you here since the turtle is not here anymore. So let's leave this. So I already explained the blue buff, which is more benefitable for mages and assassins. Assassin mages like Doshan, Selena, so Fanny. But for the red buff, it's more you should give it to the marksmans and the physical assassins as well. Physical assassins could work. I don't think Fanny could benefit from it too much. I'm not really sure. I haven't really tried it on Fanny, but I know Fanny got a buff. So, but I haven't tried her yet. Let's see. We could pick anybody who has fast wave clear. Where's Goshun? There he is. All right. So for the turtle, I don't think anything changed. The buff is still the same. It gives you true damage like always. Let's give max level. Add some gold. Let's go to the turtle. I mean, not the crab. Turtle. Here we go. The buff should stay the same actually, from what I know. So when the carrier doesn't receive or deal any damage in 5 seconds, it generates a shield. Okay, so that's something new. Before, the crab doesn't give you any shield at all, but every 5 seconds that the enemy doesn't deal damage to you or you don't take any damage from minions, you actually get a shield. So that's something new from the crab buff. It also generates a shield that can absorb 400 to 600 damage and increase the carrier's physical attack by 20 plus 30 and magic attack by 25 plus 60. Scales with hero's level. So the higher the hero's level, the stronger the turtle buff is. So before, the turtle buff actually gives you true damage, but it doesn't do it anymore. It just makes you stronger by giving you more physical damage and more magic damage. So now the true damage will be coming from the red buff, as you can see. It used to be the turtle buff, but now it's the red buff. So like for Kimmy, this is gonna be insane. For Kari, any marksman, Bruno, red buff is gonna be insane since you're gonna be auto attacking most of the time at the back line and you're just gonna have free hit. But for the just for your information, if you use your second skill on Zilong, anything that damages an enemy hero, it slows them down for the red buff. It doesn't have to be a basic attack, by the way. So if I slow him down, if I use my second skill, my red buff will actually proc to Zilong and it slows Zilong down by a little bit. So just like that, see? I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Let me try it again. It works on minions as well. Like if I use, let's see. What can I use? What can I use to show this? To demonstrate this? I can't really show anything. Layla, maybe a moving guardian, normal bot, patrolling bot. There you go. Right here. So if I slow him down, it slows him down just like that. But I mean, Goshen's second skill already has a slow anyways. But you know, it adds more. But why does this one, when dealing damage to enemies, slows them down by 80%? It says 30% earlier. I don't know why it does that. But now it's 80%. Maybe for mages, it's 80%. For marksmen, it's 30%. Or for melee heroes. For melee heroes, it's 80%. For range heroes, it's probably 30%. So that's probably what the difference is. And again, the blue buff, lastly, is gonna be... Yep, same thing. So same thing for mages and marksmen. Reduces cooldown by 10% and mana cost by 40%. Skill energy cost by 25%. So for Fanny, for people that uses energy like Fanny and Hayabusa, this should be really useful as well. It takes less energy from Fanny and Hayabusa if you do have the blue buff. So it's gonna be really hard for, like, let's say if Goshen and Fanny are on the same team, Fanny solo lane and then Goshen mid, one has to take the blue buff, and if one doesn't have the blue buff, he's gonna struggle the whole game, since, you know, there's only one blue buff now. The red buff is a different buff now. It doesn't give you more energy or more mana reduction when you get the red buff now, which is how it's supposed to be anyways. So I think that's all I could go over with you guys. I can't really think anything. I can't think of anything else on top of my head. We can test out the late game and the early game gold that's given to this. As you can see, that one gave 51 gold, and it's only 3 minutes 45 seconds in the game. But as the game progresses, like I said, it will give you more gold. And I think that's it to to explain to you guys. The blue buff, red buff, the healing buff that's usually here but it doesn't show it on the practice mode, the wind buff that you could use to actually run away from people, and that's it. Alright, so make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys learned something from this video. And again, make sure to pay attention to the intro of the video because I did explain something there about my Facebook streaming and why my gameplays have been in Tagalog instead of English. The tutorials will stay in English, but the gameplays that I do for streaming will be in Tagalog, and it's gonna be streamed on Facebook. I will try to stream on YouTube. Since I am still not partnered with Facebook, I could still stream on YouTube if I want to. But once I am a Facebook partner and I get a salary from Facebook, I cannot stream on YouTube no more. So it's just gonna be a heads up for you guys that are strictly just YouTube fans, you know what I mean? Once I'm a Facebook partner, I cannot stream on YouTube anymore. I will be strictly on Facebook. That's why I want to let people know and, you know, get people used to watching me on Facebook instead of me being on YouTube all the time. And, you know, it's easier for me to transition once I become a partner for Facebook. So sorry for the inconvenience for the people that are, you know, YouTube only people. Some people don't really like Facebook, but I can't do anything about it. It's just something that I gotta do for me to be successful here in the Philippines. So hopefully you guys understand that. And I mean, I do put subtitles on my gameplay because I told my editor to do so, since I know that there's a lot of people watching from different countries. It's not just Filipinos that are watching me. There's people from Europe, from Middle East, from the US, of course. So I appreciate all of you guys that stayed, but like I said, the tutorials will stay English, and the gameplays, though, I cannot do anything about it. The gameplays will probably be in Tagalog since I am streaming in Tagalog. I get my gameplays from my stream and I record it, so it's, sadly to say, unfortunately, it's gonna stay in Tagalog. But yeah, that's it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. And that's it. Peace!